there was a change in the way presidents dealt with monetary policy, and it was actually after H.W. Bush, starting in the Clinton administration, where a body of research and experience indicated that leaving the central bank to do its job properly to control inflation was essential to actually a healthy economy and to keeping control of inflation. And that was adopted under Rubin and the Treasury Secretary, and actually that has persisted up until now. The idea that a central bank has to look long-term, which politicians usually look short-term. It's one of the reasons for it to be independent. And also the key, which is you have to sometimes take away the punch bowl from the party when it's getting good, really has been well understood by previous presidents after H.W. Bush. And so this is a change. It's not a healthy change. I will say that the appointments that Trump has suggested for the Federal Reserve Board have actually been excellent appointments. So in that sense, he's actually done what he should be doing. But this is not welcome. This is something that actually, when we see in countries that this kind of thing happens, it actually is bad. A classic example recently is Turkey, where the Turkish president has been making comments about the central bank should not raise rates, actually put a lot of pressure on them. What was the result? A lot of inflation and actually a collapse of the Turkish lira. So this is not a good policy from the administration, but this is Donald Trump.
Rick, Tyler just pointed out that we know that Donald Trump, President Trump, doesn't like raising rates. He likes low rates. Is this specific comment damaging in any way?
I don't think it's a super big deal in the sense that he also qualified it by saying that they need to do their job, and I have confidence in the Federal Reserve Chairman. But certainly it's something that is new. We don't know whether, in fact, the pressure could become more intense than the president. So it's not particularly welcome.
What do you think the effect will be on Jerome Powell? Anything?
I think very little. The Federal Reserve has a tremendous tradition now of being apolitical. I never once, I spent 5 years in FOMC meetings, 2 as a governor and 3 when I was the chief economist of the New York Fed. I never saw discussions that said because of politics or pressure, we're going to do some things that are different. That was not true, by the way, for example, under Arthur Burns. But the Fed basically is an apolitical organization. It sees that that's its mission to actually do a good job in terms of managing the economy, but not to be involved in politics. And I think that that's not going to change.
The effect may not be much on Chairman Powell, but the prism through which we view Powell's actions will be changed for at least a while. I mean, if for some reason the Fed decides not to go through with a December or later on this year, not this next expected hike, but the next one after that incites trade, aren't market participants going to say, you know what, I remember those comments from President Trump who said they did all this work to bolster the economy, and there they are raising interest rates working against us. It's the perception, really, of the Fed that matters at the end of the day.
Because we're always going to wonder.
Exactly. We'll wonder if he was fueled by those president's comments.
I think that may be overplayed in that Jerome Powell is a very savvy guy, that the Fed has a long tradition in this regard. If, in fact, they decide to not raise rates as rapidly as they said that they were raising rates, the Fed's going to actually have to justify it on purely economic grounds. So I think as long as the Fed's communication is good on this aspect, that it will not have huge impact. That could change, by the way, if, in fact, the president and Republicans who support the president start to actually become much more vociferous against Fed raising interest rates. But we just don't know that yet. This is a comment, an offhand comment that the president made. We just don't know how it's going to proceed further. And at this moment, I would not see that this would be a big deal yet. But on the other hand, it is a dangerous sign.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.